What is good, my people? What is good, all you beautiful souls around the world? I have my camera flipped around the other way today so I could actually interact with some people today. I was definitely a savage before I chose to become spiritual. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my background and my life and kind of some of the choices and the way that I chose to live in my past. I didn't have the best upbringing. I didn't really have parental guidance. The guidance that I received actually was from people living above the bar that I started living above when I was 14 years old. I was still young, and I was scared living in that environment. Excuse me. I was scared living in that environment for the first time in my life. But I was grateful to be away from the abuse in my home, which had developed a lot of insecurities for me. Even still to this day, I suffer from PTSD. And, you know, it's a healing process. It's something that I pray through, meditate through, and try to just become a better person each and every day. Not every day is easy, and I know this, and that's why I don't like the bullshit with you guys and women and children, because this is mainly why I do this, because I want to carve a path for the youth that will be coming after me so that they can get farther in their life than I could have ever got for myself. So they could do better things and accomplish more than I could have ever done for myself. You know, so they could learn quicker, because I beat my head off the wall for years. You know, insanity to me wasn't doing the same thing and expecting something different. I did the same thing and I knew what the fuck was gonna happen to me. I did the same thing and I knew I was gonna go back to jail. I knew that I might end up dead. I knew that, you know, I would be written off. Like, you know, I was pretty much wrote off as a young child anyway, you know, so it wasn't really a big deal to me, you know. I had a hard time loving myself. And that's where a lot of this spiritual process comes in, is learning to love ourselves. Because when we learn to love ourselves, welcome everybody. Thank you everybody who's joining. I appreciate you. So, you know, living above the bar at 14, and then I went to go try to stay with a friend, and I ended up getting some of my belongings stolen. So I was in and out of drugs, alcohol, sex, anything to not feel. Anything that was helping me to escape from having to deal with my emotions and feelings was what I was doing. It did not matter what it was. And even to this day, we can have healthy addictions. I mean, they're not healthy if they're addictive, is what I'm saying, because we can use addictive behaviors for healthy things, such as exercise, or sex, or power, or money, or work, or shopping. These things in their sense aren't bad things. The badness consists in pursuing them by the wrong methods, too excessively, too compulsively, just acting on it. When we start treating things in our life such like in this manner, we are sure to fall into destruction. It just becomes destructive on its own. That's why balance is such an important role in the spirit, you know, to have a balance for everything. So, I ended up being homeless. You know, I was living on the streets in the hood, where it would be close for me to get to the drugs that I wanted to get to escape. I was pretty much on a suicide mission. I didn't care if I lived or died for a long time. I did a lot of dirty things that I'm not proud of. You know, stuck people up. You know, I played with guns when I was younger, you know, so I had pistol. I would rob people, not people like old women and rob men. I would rob, like, drug dealers. I would rob, people in the game, pretty much, you know. Then that's how the game goes, and that's why it's a dangerous environment. My one brother has already been shot, you know, and has a bullet lodged against his spine, and from the game, you know. It's vicious out there. So, I heard an awesome lyric, I think it's Polo G, but he said you can make it out the game if you're street and you're book smart. And that's kind of like what happened for me. I started just studying. I always had a relationship with God because I didn't feel like I had, you know, the tight-knit family. So I reached towards something that I believed that was greater than myself. And I received the power to be able to continue going on, to continue pushing on through my suicidal ideations, through my sexual assault, through my prison time, you know. And this has affected my relationships with every single person that I come in contact with. I am a very shot out human being. You know, we all create our own realities pretty much, but I believe that our truths that we come to find, if you're living in spirit, they become to be the same things. That we want love, that we want unity, that we want to feel connected and not disconnected. And so through my homelessness, I really didn't care where my life went, what was going on. Nobody was really obviously there for me and wanted nothing to do with me. So I ended up trying to take my life with some sleeping medication. And I had to get my stomach pumped. I was in the psych ward several times. And living in a spiritual life, it is a constant battle between your flesh and your spirit. And I spoke on this the other day, but the battle never stops. When you're living in the spirit and you're trying to do better in your life, the world is going to push on your soul, my friends. And you can't give in. This is where I got to the point with the enemy. I got to the point where I was like, I am done giving into you. I know that my end results are always the same. And I know inside, because God will show you what your life can and will be like by starting to make the right choices. So we have to be careful not to use past experiences to identify our present situations. My past does not make me who I am today. A lot of people, their realities think that it does, because there is a lot of stigmas attached to the things that I talk about, who I am as a person. Not even who I am as a person, who I was. That's the old me. And you don't want the old me to come back. Because the old me was cold and had no heart. When I was young and innocent, I had a heart. I was pure. I had a heart. I was a child and I cared and loved for other people. When I seen people being bullied in school, I would be the kid that defended them. And then it got to the point where I gave up on people in my life. And I'm being real. I gave up on people. I said, you know what? Fuck everyone. Fuck everything. Ain't nobody got my back but God. God has always walked beside me, in front of me, behind me. And that is why I choose to speak about a spiritual life and not about an addiction life and not about it. Because when we identify as something, saying, hey, I'm Brandon, I'm an addict, that puts an energy out into the world that I don't believe that I am. I'm not that. I'm actually somebody that has suffered from severe PTSD and I was trying to escape my feelings. That is what happened. So, I truly believe that, you know, life is difficult for us all. We all have struggle. And I believe that your bottom is the same bottom as mine was when I was at my bottom. Just because we might have been at different levels doesn't mean that you didn't feel the same way when you were at your bottom as I have when I was at my bottom. Now, I had to go see my brother being buried from a jail cell. I had to get furloughed from jail 4 hours to go see my baby brother, which I'm going to show y'all because I miss him every day. But these are pictures of my little brother. And his daughter is in there. His name is Brad. And I started this initially to keep his spirit alive. I want Brad to live on. So I created a group. My initial group was called Battle Rebels Against Drugs, which was an acronym for his name, Brad. And it was on the news a few times, and we had shirts made in honor of him. And since then, I've created a page for Battle Rebels Against Drugs. I created a page for Spiritual Savage. I created groups on sexual and domestic violence awareness, mental health awareness, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, September. On unity, called the Heart of Oneness, on spirituality, and on positive energy. But these are all things that I believe are important to talk about. And I also believe that silence is what keeps them alive. Being silent about them does not help any situation with awareness. We are people that are in deep need of healing, of learning to actually feel our feelings. And I know that is a hard thing to do sometimes. Trust me, I know. And my heart goes out for you because I know some days it can be so dark. And you could even wonder if you even have purpose anymore. Don't let this internet and this social media trick you into thinking that you do not have purpose anymore. Because you still have just as much purpose as the next person. It doesn't matter what it is. A purpose is divine. It is from God. It is divine and it is for you. And we will never get to experience it unless you contribute it because you're the only one with it. How beautiful is that? That is amazing that you have a purpose that nobody else has that is designed just for you. And you are still just as important as anybody else on these social media platforms. Don't get it fucked up. Don't let your mind trick you into thinking that you are less than now because of what has been being pumped out on social media. Because a lot of what we are seeing on these REEL aren't REAL. They ain't real. It's just to make us feel like we're less than, to condition us in a way that we start to feel less about ourselves. And trust and believe that's what they want. Because, for instance, when somebody emojis something on my posts and I block them, they allow the emoji to stay. Why? Because they don't care about our better experience. They care about statistics. You know, oh, how many people like this? That's why they have 6 emojis now and not just a thumbs up. Because they want to categorize what this post may be like and then put it in their little boxes. But in a spiritual life, we're out the box. We ain't in a box. You can't lock us in because we're always expanding. We're always growing. We're continually evolving. You can't trap us in. You can try, but we are awake to what you are doing. And I am going to continue to awaken the people that follow me. Also, I'm going to call out on IG specifically. There's this group called Sky saying that they're promoting people that are spiritual teachers, healers, tarot, whatever. Okay? I started to go through their page. They have 2 million followers, so if you get promoted on their page, your one promotion will get 30,000 views, but then you go to the person's actual page and they don't get any analytic. They don't have anybody following them. They don't have anybody liking people on their own pages. But you're paying somebody $500+ to promote you because they have a large following, but you're not getting the feedback that you would like to get. And that's why I have thought to take on 4 or 5 people at a time, because when you try to take on the whole world, people aren't going to get the analytic that they're trying to get. You're not going to get the feedback and the reach that you're trying to do. And I've been calling these people out. And I'm going to continue to, because you're taking advantage of hardworking people. And also, this money could be going to starting children. And it's just going into your pockets that are already fat. And also, how do we know? I just talked about this the other day, the troll farms and how many fake accounts are now out there. How do we know that this isn't Instagram themselves? So you're paying Instagram to promote you in a spiritual setting, but they have a page and they can add 2 million bots to, because they have the ability to do that. And then it looks like they have a large following, so you're like, oh, okay, they have a large following, I might be able to be seen on here. And you will get seen. Your one post will be seen. But nobody's going to come to your page and follow you after that. Social media used to depend on your hard work, skill, and influence. Now it depends on how much you are willing to conform and sacrifice your soul to those who are in control and trying to live and abide by their roles, when we will not conform. We are transformation, not we're not conformists. We're transformationalists, if that's even a word. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hey, may the light fill your spirit, may peace fill your minds, and may love fill your hearts always, my friends. Have a wonderful day.